Good morning, everybody. I welcome you all to our webinar today, Teachers Professional Webinar 2.0. It's a pleasure to have all you here. And on behalf of LinkSkool and Digital Dreams, it's a pleasure to have you here, and appreciate all of you for making our time to be part of this session. So I don't know if any of you can hear me actually. I have to stop sharing. If you can hear me, can you make use of the chat box just to be
Yes, we
sure
can hear you.
we are all right, sir? So we're going to Xiaomi. You said you can't hear me. Can you confirm that you can hear me now? Okay, all right. All right. So we are starting immediately. Once again, I welcome all of you to today's webinar. And it's a pleasure having you all joining us today. And on behalf of Digital Dreams and LinkSkool, I sincerely appreciate you for making our time to be part of this session. Right? And this webinar is for everybody, whether you are a classroom teacher, a private tutor, right? Or even a school administrator, or anybody, or someone who has interest in education. You are all welcome, right? Today's webinar is titled The Smart Classroom, Managing Teaching and Learning with LinkSkool AI. It's not just going to be theory. We have prepared a practical section where we're not just going to tell you things that technology does, but you will do a hands-on practical and experience how technology has transformed teaching and learning in the current society. So I urge all of you and all of us here present to also invite your friends and your family, your wards who are not presently here. We're starting immediately. Um, all right. Other people are still joining, and we wouldn't want anybody to miss the introductory part of the webinar. So Please, as you join, please try and mute yourself. All right. So even before we begin, I'll also talk about our community, the LinkSkool WhatsApp community that we have created, and the reason behind the community. Now, we wouldn't want just our relationship with our dear educators and the teachers to end immediately the webinar ends. So the community was created to create or for us to build a growing network of educators who can learn from each other, share experiences, ask questions also, and then continuously we learn from each other, right? So that is why we be able to we created the group, the community where information and further learning and questioning will be happening even after the webinar. So if you have someone in your ward or your friends or your family or a colleague who is not on the group, please advise him or her to join, and so he or she wouldn't be missing important information that we drop, update that we drop on the group. So while we wait for others to join, I also want to appreciate um, those of you who has been with us from the first day of this webinar till today, right? I, on behalf of the Link School and Digital Dreams, our partner, we appreciate all of you, and we hope that at the end of today's webinar, we must have been able to show you the practical um, methods where how practical method of teaching and impacting knowledge in our current society. So I thank you all for joining. Make it happen. Okay, so now introducing the first speaker, who will be taking us through what a smart classroom is, and how it helps in improving and making teaching and learning more effectively. So I indulge all of us to maybe get your writing materials and pay a very close attention to all she has for us this morning. So on that note, I will be introducing Miss Neka, who will be taking us through the presentation slides on what classroom is all about. So Neka, I don't know if you are here, but then um all right, she's here, and I'm handing over the microphone to her to take us through the presentation slide on smart classrooms. So, Nika, if you're here, you can.
Hello everyone, good morning. Please confirm you can hear me.
Good morning. Can hear you.
Alright, thank you. I will share my screen immediately.
Please, we can hear you. Please, we can hear you. This
Alright,
is data, this is data, so that you guys can be fast.
alright. Thank you. Alright, we are starting now. Uh, Thank you so much for joining today's webinar. Like Mr. V introduced, my name is Juliet Snecker, and then I'll be discussing with us on what LinkSkool is all about, on what smart classroom is all about. Sorry. So today we are going to talk about a we are going to be talking about smart classroom, and then we are going to like get a comprehensive guide on the framework of transforming teaching and learning through technology designed for Nigerian schools and educators, ready to move to beyond the traditional way of teaching and learning to a more smarter way of teaching and learning, which we are talking about today as smart classroom. So, when we talk about smart classroom, we have to first of all look at our current classrooms, right? I would want us to like imagine we are all teachers, right? So I would want us to imagine what our classroom activities look like. Just take a minute to imagine what the classroom activities, the teaching and learning, how it goes, the current way that we do things. Just imagine how it goes. I will give you my own imagination of how classroom is helping every learner to learn, and then the learning, teaching and learning activities that is currently going on in our classroom. So my in my imagination, I imagine a classroom of 40 or more learners. A few understands immediately. Some are trying to follow up, right? Others are already lost, yet lesson must continue. One learner cannot see the board clearly. Another one needs an animation, not words. The person needs another learner needs an animation to understand what the teacher is saying better. Some are too shy to even ask questions when you tell them when you ask the students, is there any question? Some of the learners are too shy to ask questions. And when exercises are marked days later, because the class has already moved on, right? We are no longer talking about the topic again. We have already moved on to other topics. The problem is not teachers' willingness or the teacher's ability to learn. The problem is that the traditional classroom simply makes it difficult to reach every learner and enhance their learning ability at the same time. Are we together?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are
All right.
together.
All right.
Yes, we are
So
together.
all right. So when we look at this, when we imagine these scenarios, these difficulties that teachers and learners face in classroom activities, one questions points comes up, right? The question is, can we create a classroom where learners see, hear, explore, practice, collaborate, create and receive timely feedback? Can we create something like that? So this is the core question that we should ask ourselves. And then these core questions brings us to what we are talking about today as smart classroom. What is smart classroom? I know that when when we hear about smart classroom, what our mind will go to is a classroom with computers, right? A classroom where the teacher use computer, or a classroom that has computers inside, right? So that is not basically what smart classroom is about. Smart classroom is a technology enabled learning environment in which teachers and learners use digital tools, interactive content, create connectivity and learning data to improve teaching, participation, assessment and classroom management. So it does not just involve using digital tools to teach and learn. It also involves using interactive content. Smart classroom is also connectivity driven, right? And then It also uses learning data to improve teaching, participation, assessment, and classroom management. So when we talk about smart classroom, we are talking about using appropriate technology. We are talking about trained teachers. We are talking about using effective approach in teaching. We are talking about using relevant content, that is curriculum aligned content. We are talking about learners participating fully when they are learning, and we are also talking about reliable support. So when we talk about smart classroom, we are not just talking about using computers, right? We are talking about all these things that I've mentioned so far. Are we together?
Yes, we are together.
All right. Okay, so since I said that we are not just talking about a classroom that has digital tools when we talk about smart classroom, what is now the difference between digital classroom, that is the classroom that has digital tools, and then smart classroom? What is the difference? In digital classroom, technology is available. Of course, there are computers in the classroom, right? But in smart classroom, technology is integrated into instruction. What do I mean by this? What I mean is that technology, the computers are used. They are used to teach. They are not the main thing that uh, that is focused on. They are not the major thing that is focused on. Maybe let me say um, getting laptops is the major thing. No, in smart classroom is how the laptops, is this particular laptop that we are getting, how effective will it be for the learners to learn? How does it improve the instructions that the learners will get, right? So the next thing is teacher displays information. In digital classroom, teachers display information, but in smart classroom, teacher and learners interact with the information. In smart classroom, teachers doesn't just display information, they provide the information in different contents for their students different learning abilities, right? In a class of 40 students, you don't expect that all the 40 students will be learning the same way or have the same learning ability, right?
right?
Okay,
Okay.
so
So
in
in
smart
smart
classroom,
classroom,
teachers don't
teachers don't
just
just
display
display
information on
information.
topics and all of that. They
They
interact,
interact.
they they
They
provide
provide
those
those
information, or
information
they
or they
teach their
teach their
students in
students
an
in an
interactive
interactive
way.
way.
Then the
The
next one
one
is
is
digital
digital
content.
content.
In
In
digital
digital
classroom,
classroom,
digital
digital
content may
content may
replace
replace
textbook.
textbook.
So
So,
but
but
in
in
smart
smart
classroom,
classroom,
digital
digital
content
content
supports
supports
exploration,
exploration,
practice, and
practice, and
creation.
creation.
Then in
Then in
digital
digital
classroom,
classroom,
students are
students
not
are not
just
just
given
given
content,
content,
maybe
maybe
video
video
learning
learning
content
content
to
to
watch.
watch.
They are
They are
given
given
content
content
to
to
watch,
watch
and
and
also
also
compelled
compelled
to
to
explore, to
explore, to
go
go
further,
further,
to
to
learn
learn
further,
further,
to
to
look
look
into,
into
like
like
they are
they are
giving
giving
maybe
maybe
citation
citation
in
in
textbooks
textbooks
to
to
make more
make more
research
research
on the
on the
topic,
topic,
find
find uh,
other
other
ways to
ways to
practice what
practice
they
what they
have
have
learned, and
learned, and
even
even
from
from
practicing
practicing
and
and
what they
what they
have
have
learned,
learned,
they
they
can
can
create
create
something
something
out of
out
that.
of that.
So
So
smart
smart
classroom
classroom
enhance
enhance
exploring
exploring
topics,
topics,
practicing what
practicing what
you have
you have
learned,
learned,
and then
and then
creating
creating
something
something
from what
from
you
what
have.
you have learned.
But then
But then
digital
digital
content,
content,
on the
on
other
the
hand, just gives
give
you a content to watch,
to
and
watch,
that
and
is
that
all.
is all.
The
The
next
next
one in
one in
digital
digital
classroom
classroom
is
is
assessments
assessments
may
may
remain
remain
paper
paper
based.
based.
So when a
So when a
teacher
teacher
displays information. The students are meant to write their assessment, right? And most of the time, it's paper based. Excuse me. But in smart classroom, assessment can provide immediate feedback, right? So when students in digital classroom write their assessments, and then it is because it's paper based, most of the time it takes a day or two for the teacher to grade them and then give them back, and most of the time they don't even get feedback from the assessment because they
Hello.
are already moving on.
Hello, Miss Julia. Hello.
Yes,
Good morning.
yes.
Yeah, your voice is echoing. Please adjust it. Just look at the chat box. There are a lot of complaint there. Your voice is
Oh,
echoing.
sorry about that. Is it better now?
Yeah, I think it's okay now. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you. So when these feedbacks are not given immediately in digital classroom, students performance are not analyzed. Student performance are not analyzed, and then they don't even get proper feedback on their academic performance. But in smart classroom, assessment is written uh, and automatically graded immediately, so they get an immediate feedback. In smart classroom, after writing, immediately you submit your assessment, it is automatically graded and you see where you did well and where you did not do well, right? So the next one in digital classroom is every learner often receive the same task. Remember we have talked about the fact that students have different learning abilities, and that also has to do with their creativity ability and then learning understanding ability, yeah. So but in digital classroom, every student is treated the same way. Student that learn more when they listen to audio is given the same work assessment and the same learning material and learning approach as student that understands more when they read, and that brings a problem of students learning effectively. In smart classroom, tasks are given differently. Learning content is provided in different materials. They have videos, they have animations, they have audio, right? So, and when they take these different contents in their the ones that matches their ability, right, their understanding and learning abilities, right, they also have the options to take assessments according to their needs, their learning needs, according to their learning abilities. Are we together?
Together.
So the next one in digital classroom is success is measured by equipment installed. In digital classroom, success is measured by how many laptops has been bought, how many projectors and how many classes is using projectors, how many classrooms have mobile devices in the classroom, right? But in smart classroom, success is measured by participation and learning outcome. Success is measured by how students participate in classroom learning, how they interact with their learning content, and then how their grades, how far they go with exploring the topics, right? So that is it for the difference between digital classroom and smart classroom. When we are talking about smart classroom, it is important for us to understand the key pillars that makes up a smart classroom. So we have six important pillars that makes up a smart classroom. What are these pillars? We talk about infrastructure. So if you're thinking about creating a smart classroom, you must make sure that there is strong that you have electricity. You make sure that you have digital devices, you have strong network, and if you're in a country like Nigeria, you have to make sure that you have backup power, right? So the next pillar is digital content. When if you're using a smart classroom, you must make sure that the content, the resources, the learning material, the learning resources, the animation, the videos, the simulations, the survey that you're using for your learning content, it must align to the curriculum standard, right? So the next one is pedagogy, which is teaching approach. Must make sure that the teaching approach is enhancing students to stay active. It must be collaborative and inquiry based, right? So you must use the approach that use real world. You must use real world uh, problems that students can actually understand, that aligns with the context of the environment that the student finds themselves, right? So the next one is capacity. When we talk about teachers capacity, we talk about their digital skills and their creativity. So teachers that are using smart classroom must be uh, must have digital skills, the necessary digital skills, and they must be creative with how they create assessment for students, because we talked about that students have variety of learning abilities and all of that, and then smart classroom accommodates every learner, right? So teachers must be creative enough to create different learning materials for and assessment for different learners need. The next one is learner participation. Another strong pillar of a smart classroom is that the learning content that's provided for the student, it must encourage them to investigate, to participate by investigating, carrying out in-depth research on what they have learned so far. It must encourage them to become collaborators. That is, they must work together with their peers to work on projects, which makes them creators as well, and that makes them problem solvers as well, right? The next one is data governance and support. So we all know that in classroom activities, a lot of data is generated from the learning content, from the students' details, from the student information, the learning content, the assessment, the assignments, the exams. All these are academic data, right? So there should be a set of rules and guides on how uh, these contents are being uploaded, who accesses which content and who does not access which content, so that, and then try how the progress is being tracked as well, so that uh, this information, these data do not go out to the wrong hands. So the next thing that we are going the next thing that we are going to talk about is so I provided in-depth the next thing that we are going to talk about is the problems that we notice in our classroom. I have explained what smart classroom is all about, the difference between digital classroom and smart classroom, right? And I've also explained the pillars that makes up a smart classroom. So far, which problem do you have you noticed in your classroom as a teacher, as an educator? Which problem have you noticed so far in your classroom? Please, I would like someone to, like, we all to put the problem that we have noticed so far in the chat. So I don't want us to explore solutions to these problems without identifying our personal problems. So please put it in the chat. Put the problems that you have identified so far from what we have been saying. Put it in the chat, please. So I have one of our colleague here. I have one of our colleague here, Mr. Adeyemi. So Mr. Adeyemi teach basic science to 58 learners, right? He explains evaporation clearly. In a particular class, basic science class, he explained evaporation clearly. Also, he thinks, but 3 days later, while marking exercise book from the assessments in evaporation, he discovers that 34 learners believe that water simply disappears into the air and is gone forever. You see the understanding difference here. By then, the class has moved on to another topic, and there was no way to know during the lesson who was confused, because when he asked, did we understand what evaporation is all about, they all said yes. And there's no time to go back because it's already time for another topic, right? So this is the problem that Mr. Adeyemi face, and I can't wait to read what the personal problem that you have noticed in your class as well. So please, which from Mr. Adeyemi's problem, which other challenges come to your mind? Please put it in the chat. I have here. Okay, Mr. Hillary said, the major problem I have in the classroom is the ability to carry everyone along during the lesson. And Mr. Eric said maintaining students' attention during the class. You see, okay, these are the two problems that I can see now. You see, we all have like different problems, right? So moving ahead, I have 6 problems here that most of us face, and then I would like us to discuss it. One, uh, one of the problem that most most of us teachers face is that we use one method or one approach of teaching to teach. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay,
Yeah, we
so
can hear you.
okay, so one of the problems that most of us teachers face is that we use one approach to teach every student. And remember, every student doesn't learn in the same way, right? Every student has their different learning ability and all of that. So teachers have noticed that some learners need diagrams, others need demonstration, some even need animation to understand, some need audio, right, to understand, while others are just comfortable with reading up what the teacher has provided, the learning material that the teachers have provided them with, and they are good with it, right? So when this happens, fast learners finish early and lose interest. They might not even go further to talk to research more on the topic. They will just lose it. They have, oh, we have learned it today, and then that's all, right? And then you find the slower learners who are left behind, and the class activities have moved on. They have moved on to another topic, and the students will not learn that thing forever, right? So the same concept must be explained repeatedly in different ways, right? For all students to learn and be carried along. So what solution does smart classroom provide to this problem? In smart classroom, you present concepts, you teach a topic in multiple formats. You use spoken, written, visual, video, simulation, and interactive content. So a smart classroom provides audio, it provides written content, it provides visual content, video content, simulation content, and interactive content for students for different learner ability. So every student is accommodated and carried along, right? So problem the next problem is learners listen and copy rather than participate. They we all teachers, we have experienced this. You finish explaining a topic, and when you ask, is there any question, the student will shout no, but then you give them a question immediately, and you see that half of the class doesn't have an answer to that question, and that is a problem. So in smart classroom, while you're teaching, you have live polls, you have quizzes, where as you're teaching, you're you're encouraging the student to engage, right, with live polls that every student responds to, right? So when I believe that when the practical session is coming up, you see how we use all these things, right? Then you also have simulations and games. When students are you know that students, they like to some students, they like to learn when the content or when the learning is fun, is so you smart classroom also encourages simulations and game when you gamify your learning content, so that the students are learning and they are having fun at the same time. There are students that when they learn with let me say, when they are watching a funny something, and they will never forget that particular phrase that they learned from that funny video, something like that. So smart classroom encourages learners to learn more through gamified content experience. The next one is collaborative boards and projects. So in smart classroom, learners don't just listen to what the teacher has to say or read up the uh, lesson notes, and that is all. No, smart classroom provides students with a group project that's that has to do with real life problems or problems in their environment. So they collaborate with their peers to work on those projects, or even do it individually, and that solve that problems of students not just of just listening and copy what the teacher has written on the board, and then they don't participate at all, right? So the next problem that we have here is some concepts are hard to explain with words alone. let's say topics like blood circulation, planetary motion, chemical reaction. These topics are something that you, especially for students that are hearing it for the first time, you don't just explain that blood moves through the veins, this and that, and then you expect them to understand what you're saying. Most of them will not understand, right? So these are difficult things. Or you tell the student that um the planet rotates, you they will be like, rotates how? So these are the things that you need to use. uh you need to use things like simulation. You need to use videos. You need to use even 3D models like visual reality to show them what you're actually talking about, how the planet's motion goes, right? So this solves the problem. This things, this part of smart classroom solves the problem where hard concepts, or where concepts that are not easy for learners to understand, it makes it easier for them to understand, right? Okay. So the next problem that we have is teachers discover difficulties too late. So after teaching, after giving, most of us teachers, we understand how teachers learn, or how students learn, or the difficulties that they are having with the a particular topic when we give them assessments. Am I right? So when you give a student an assessment and then you grade it maybe the next day, and you find out that next day you're already talking about the next topic in your coursework, and then you discover that in yesterday's topic, half of the students, or even most of the students, did not understand the topic that you taught them earlier. You see, it is too late already. You're already in a new topic, whereas most students are still having issues. And you see, most of our students, they will not tell you. They will not tell you that they did not understand. Most of them are shy to ask questions, or to even approach their teachers and be like, oh, what we discussed last week, I did not understand it. Most of them are shy to speak up, right? So this is the problem that smart classroom is also solving. How does smart classroom solve this problem? It solves it with providing an entry quizzes to check what the students already know and how it relates with that particular topic, right? Then as you're teaching them, you're also giving them like live questions during the explanation. You are giving them live questions. You are asking them questions that relates with maybe a scenario, or an event that happened in the school or in the classroom. You're also giving them live questions so that you will see how they understand the topic, how they understand what you are explaining so far. The next one is automated objective quizzes. As students are interacting with the content that you provided with them, they are also taking questions. They are also writing quizzes. So they don't just finish a course and then maybe relax, or don't have anything to work on, or maybe work on an assignment later. As they are learning, they are answering questions, they are taking questions inside the content. So they also have exit tickets at the end of a lesson. So they learn according to they learn step by step. They don't just go from point A and rush to point, or jump to point C when they have not learned the second stage, which is point B, right? They learn in stages, from explanation, from objective to explanation, and then explanation to real life examples, questions. That's how smart classroom provide learning content for students. Then the next one is that it also has dashboard showing frequent missed questions. So you from here you understand where the students have difficulties. If there are questions that or a quiz that pops up during the learning content, and then they miss the question, or they skip the question because maybe they did not understand the question, they skip it. You see that, oh, percentage of students skip this question, which means you need to throw more light, or you need to explain that concept better for them. So you discover learning difficulties for your students in real time. As they are learning, you're discovering their difficulties. All right, the next problem is large classes make individual attention difficult. We are human, we teachers, we are humans, and yes, there's no way that you have 40 students in a class and then you attend to them individually. You make individual, you pay attention to their individual needs at the same time. Is very, very difficult. So how does smart classroom solve this problem? It solves it by providing a station rotation during learning. So in this station rotation, you group your student for learning activities or project activities. So a slow learner student gets to be in a group with a fast learner student, or somebody that understands better. And when they are collaborating together to do these things, the person learns from their peers, right? The one that understands better gets to teach the one that didn't understand it clearly better. So today, let me say I'm a slow learner. Today I'm in a group, a learning group with somebody that understands the topic better. The next day, I am in a group with someone that learns faster or has another way of learning that the person, I might even learn from that person. So you see, the work is not just done. The individual attention work is not just done by the teacher. You can also allow your students to help you out with it through this station rotation. Okay, the next one is accessibility features, where you provide captions, audio text, text to speech, enlarged text, high contrast display, and language support. Like for a student that maybe a student moved into your area newly and the person does not really understand the language that is being used in that area. So language support, imbibing language support in your learning content helps the person to learn and accommodate the person to learn more, and then uh how do I say, to like follow the others. The person will not be left behind just because of language barriers, right? Another one is there are students that have problems with their eye. They might not see large text easily. Some even can't read very well, so they might need audio to listen to them and understand. So smart classroom accommodates all these things, and then every student has access to all these things, and then the individual needs are being solved, right? The next one is differentiated tasks. Learners have different learning ability, understanding ability, yes, and then that affects the task that they do. If you give all of them the same task, they might not, some of them might not do well, some might do well. So smart classroom provides a self-paced practice and additional support for students that are struggling. And for students that are not struggling, that means they already understand the topic. That you smart classroom also provides them an extension task, like a more in-depth task for them to do, because they already understand the basics. And people that did not understand the basics, they also have their own tasks to do, right? So moving to the last problem that we have here, the last problem is progress is hard to track and learning stops after class. Most of us experience this. We don't really know how best to track like individual individual learner academic performance, right? It is difficult to track, to understand how is this person doing well, how is this person doing academically. Now this person came to this school 2 years ago. What is the difference between the person 2 years ago and the person now? It's difficult to track. And learning stops immediately after the school activities that day, or the classroom activities for that day. Learning stops, and there is no other thing that should be talked about in that topic. The next day you start with a new topic. This is a problem, a very big problem for learner, especially for learners. So how does smart classroom solve this problem? It solves it by providing their lesson notes from the beginning of the session to the end of the session. So students can on their own go. Learning does not. So classroom smart classroom supports learning outside the classroom, right? Learning does not just end when the teacher finish the topic in the class. The students have access to their learning content, their lesson notes, the presentation on that topic, the videos on that topic, the assignments, the quizzes, the feedback, the assessments results, the learner portfolio. They are all in one place, right? Uh, they are all displayed in one place. They are all stored in one place in smart classroom. So students have access to lesson notes to do their own personal learning, and teachers also has uh, access to their assessment results to track how they did with how they performed in the assessment, and their results, how they are doing now, and the difference between how they were doing last year and how they are doing now, right? So another way that smart classroom solves this problem is that it identifies repeated difficulties. Let me say a student, when you were teaching a student in the class, the student did not understand. Let me say for that evaporation class, the student did not understand what evaporation is. The student asked a question in the class. I did not understand the evaporation, and you explained it again. And you also, when you now check the student assessment, you also discover that when the student was taking the assessment, the person still did not understand evaporation, right? And when you also from the survey and the poll that you created in that same topic, the person still did not understand what evaporation is. So you identify, oh, this person did not get it clearly, maybe I should change it to I should. You will not take this decision from the case scenario, from the issue, the problem or the difficulties that the person is having. You now know the perfect solution, right? So the next one is beyond classroom. Smart classroom encourage, from what we have been saying so far, smart classroom encourage learning beyond classroom, and even teacher to learner interaction outside the classroom, because the teacher has access to the learning platform storage, and the student also has access to it. So whatever the students, how the students are interacting with the learning content that the teacher provided or uploaded for them in that storage, the teacher has real-time access to it, or real-time visibility is visible to the teacher as the students are interacting with those contents, right? So this solves the problem of academic progress of learners being hard to track, and then learning stopping after the classroom activities, right? Okay, so moving over to what we have next, which is how to identify if you need a smart classroom, right? So you cannot provide a solution for an unknown problem. It's when you identify the problem that you have that you will now know the solution or the perfect solution for that problem. So if you're going to use a smart classroom, you should as well know the problem that you currently have, that you think smart classroom is the best solution for that problem. So what are the questions that you should ask yourself or you should answer to now identify that you actually have this problem that smart classroom solves? One of the first question you should ask yourself is, do all learners receive the same explanation even when some need different approach? The second one is, are learners actively thinking and participating, or mainly listening and copying? The next one is, which concepts are difficult to demonstrate with current resources? Let me say you're just using only notes, only lesson notes. Which content is difficult to demonstrate with that current resources, that current lesson note that you are using? So when you identify, you now know the next resources that you should add. So the next one is, can I determine during the lesson who understands and who needs help? This is another question you should ask yourself and answer, right? The next one is, can I support different abilities, that is learners abilities and accessibility needs? And then the final one is, can learners revisit lesson, and can I track, I as a teacher, can I track what each learner has mastered? So these questions are what you should ask yourself. And how do you answer it? You answer it by paying attention to what is happening in your classroom. That is how you get the answer to these questions, and then the answer will now tell you if you need a smart classroom or not. So the next one is, what are the main components? The next one is the main components of a smart classroom. We have been talking about a smart classroom, a smart classroom. When you see a smart classroom, what will you see there? So I'm going to be listing out what you see in a smart classroom, and then the purpose. What function, or are those things used for in the smart classroom? The first one is teacher computer. So the teacher computer is, the main purpose is for the teachers to run lessons, presentation and classroom applications, learning applications. The next one is projector or large display. The purpose is to make content visible to the whole class, right? So when you have a short-sighted person at the back of your class, something like that, you have your projector, and then the font should be large enough to accommodate both long-sighted, short-sighted, and all of that, right? So the next one is learner devices. The purpose of learner devices is to enable research, practice, creation and assessment. The next one is local network or Wi-Fi. When you're using smart classroom, is technologically is technological driven, right? So you need network, you need local network, you need Wi-Fi, you need strong one at that. So the purpose is to connect devices and distribute contents. The next one is learning platform. You need a learning platform that organize lessons, assignments, quizzes, and learning
Can you hear me now?
Yes, they can hear you.
Please, sorry for that disruption. I will continue now. Recent.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay, we are talking about the components of a smart classroom and then the purpose, right? So the last one that I talked about is local network and Wi-Fi. So the next one is learning platform, which the purpose is to organize lesson notes and lesson plans, organize assessment assignments, organize quizzes and academic record, right? So the next one is digital content repository, where a digital storage device where you store curriculum aligned learning materials, right? So the next one is power and backup power. Like I said before, smart classroom is technological driven, right? So you need electricity, and if you're having an electricity issues in the place that your school or your school or your institution is located, you need a backup power, right? The purpose is to keep lesson running so that you will not have a disruption in your teaching and learning activities. So the next one and the final one of the main component of a smart classroom is teacher training, right? So the teachers in a smart classroom should be technologically trained, or they should be trained to be able to deliver lessons in a smart classroom. The purpose is to enable effective instructional use, right? So moving ahead to the next one, which is advanced components of a smart classroom. Advanced component of a smart classroom. In advanced smart classroom, you will find interactive flat panels. You find documents, cameras. You find visual. You find visual or augmented reality, that is VR. You also find adaptive. You also find adaptive learning platforms, right? Then you also find AI supported tutoring tools and robotic and market space equipment. So all these are the things that you find in advanced smart classroom. Moving ahead, we are going to like look at what happens during a smart, in a smart classroom, right? Is a smart lesson that is being delivered. So what are the things that happen during a smart lesson? First of all, you in a smart classroom where a smart class is going on, you first of all connect your students or your learners. You connect the topic that you're introducing to your students. You connect it with the prior knowledge that they have, right? So you first of all bring in something that will refresh their memory or bring back what they already know before, that is related to that topic or that has to do with that topic that you want to teach them. So when you do that, the next one is you introducing the topic in different learning materials. You in the like lesson notes, like videos, like diagrams, like animations. You present it and explain the concept using these different materials, right? The next one is you interact with them. After explaining this concept, you interact with them to understand if they understand or not. Remember we said that some of them will not some of them are shy to ask questions, right? So you make sure that all of them say something, all of them interact, all of them participate in that learning. learning activity. How do you do that? You do that through polls. You create a poll in which all the students will answer, provide an answer, pick an option or something like that. You also give them simulations to work on. Simulations has to do with you provide them with simulations with real world problems that is directly related to the topic that you're teaching them, right? You also provide annotations so that they will see step-by-step guide. They will have step-by-step guide on how to do their projects, right? So the next one is explore. How do you explore? How do you encourage students to explore? You encourage them to explore by giving them an individual or a collaborative investigation project to do, right? You give them something to encourage them to go further, make more research on that topic, right? So the final thing that happened during SMART lesson is create. So when students have been taught, you explain a topic, they interact with it, they do more research on the topic. The next one is for them to produce a visible product. It might not just be a visible product. They'll just be creative, like with what they have learned, right? It can be they can bring up a concept from that topic. If it has to do with something that you can create a visible product, they can, yes, because they have already understood the topic very well. They will now create something, right? So in a smart classroom, the smart lesson does not just stop by when you explain, you ask your student questions and then they answer the few questions. It ends when they can actually create something out of what they have learned so far. All right. So the next thing that we have here is learning models that is supported by smart classroom. So the learning models that smart classroom supports are blended learning. So in smart classroom, you don't it blends face-to-face learning, like the physical classroom learning with digital classroom learning, where students learn visually as well, or virtually as well, right? So it's not just, they're not just seeing the faces of, they're not just seeing their teacher's face every time they're learning. Of course they do in the classroom, the physical classroom, but also in the smart classroom, in which combines both physical and digital classroom. They learn more, they combine the two of them, right? So the next one is flipped classroom. Flipped classroom has to do with introducing a topic with a question or a real world problem, right? So the student does not just, the students don't just start with you explaining what a topic is all about. No, it starts with them or seeing a problem, you introducing a problem to them, or or introducing a material, an introductory material for them to get a background or a basic knowledge of what you are going to teach them next, or the topic that they are going to learn. That is what flipped classroom, which is a model, which is also a model that smart classroom supports. The next one is station rotation. Station rotation, like I explained before, is where you get your students to collaborate with each other to do a project or an assessment, right? So they collaborate with a particular group today. The next day the next lesson, they are doing it with another group. That is station rotation. And then the next one is project and inquiry based. Smart classroom supports a learning model where students investigate, students make more research, right? They make more research on a topic, find meaningful problems, that the content of that topic provides. What they learn from the content of that topic provides or enhance them to provide a solution to that problem. So how do we do someone will ask, how does smart classroom improve learning? Smart classroom improve learning through better visualization, in the sense that when you provide the student with animation, simulation, interactive models, and interactive model, or even videos, something like that, it makes hard concepts easier for them to understand, right? When we talked about blood circulation, chemical reaction, and planetary rotation, it gives them a better understanding of topics like this, right? Another one is increased participation. Right? In increased participation, smart classroom improve students. It enhances students and encourages students to participate more in the classroom, right? Through polls, quizzes, and collaborative boards, right? All these things makes every single student in the classroom will participate fully in a lesson. Then finally, faster formative assessments. So for us teachers, we smart classroom helps us to see how students answer questions, which questions was difficult for them to answer, which concept was hard for them to understand, and then how we can help them with those topics or with those concepts. Uh, this is the end of my presentation, and I believe that I have been able to give us a foundational understanding of what smart classroom is all about. And I know that you, as the next thing activities that we have today, which is the practical part, this presentation will enable you to understand what the practical part is all about, right? Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you so much, Mr. Vincent, for having me, and everyone for having me today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Neka, for your um, wonderful presentation on smart classroom, what it entails, the challenges we us teachers face currently in our classrooms, and how LinkSkool is here to help us make a better management of our classrooms for effective teaching and learning. I believe that we all have learned one or two things in about classrooms, and I know that we are all looking forward to seeing how all these things can be implemented in our own personal classrooms across different institutions that we find ourselves. So thank you all for your patience to this point. Yeah, I think at this point, this is where the whole thing is going to get interesting, because earlier before the webinar, we told you that we're going to be having a practical session, where we're going to walk us through the processes of creating and managing our own classrooms with the LinkSkool platform that we are going to be taking a hands-on section there. So I know we can't wait to get to that point where we see it live. Now, I'm going to share just a YouTube, a brief video of what we intend to do. Like, why do we need to adopt technology in education? Where has education taken technology to? So I'm going to indulge us to just pay close attention to an important video that I'm going to share now. All right.
Teaching is changing. Artificial intelligence is changing education, and that's forever. But the real question is not whether your students will use AI. The question is, are you as an educator prepared to use AI effectively? So imagine preparing quality lesson plan in minutes, creating assessments and making rubrics with AI, developing presentations, learning resources, and personalized activities for your students without spending hours doing everything manually. You could also imagine creating awesome video lessons that explains the different concepts clearly to your students using AI. This is what we want to teach you. Join us for the Professional Certificate in AI for Education. This program specifically covers AI-assisted lesson planning, curriculum planning, differentiated and personalized learning, as well as assessments, rubrics, feedback, and AI-generated video lessons.
As educators, technology should never replace good teaching. It should help us become better teachers. That is why this program goes beyond simply showing you AI tools. We will explore how to use AI within sound educational practice to develop learning objectives, design classroom activities, support different types of learners, and create meaningful assessments. You will also learn how to use established educational frameworks, such as Bloom's taxonomy, 12 steps of knowledge, Guy's 9 events of instruction, and understanding by design when working with AI. So, you are not simply asking AI to generate content. You are learning how to direct AI as an education professional. These 4 instructional frameworks are explicitly incorporated into the program's prompt engineering for educators module.
And education today is no longer limited to textbooks and PowerPoint slides. What if you could turn your lesson into an engaging video? What if you could create animations, professional voiceovers, educational podcasts, graphics, and multimedia learning experiences using AI? During this program, I'm going to show you how. You don't have to be a filmmaker or professional designer. We will work practically with modern AI tools to help you transform your knowledge into content that today's learners can see, hear, and engage with. The course includes AI video creation, educational animation, avatars, voice generation, multilingual narration, podcasts, and other AI-assisted media applications. So I tell you, This is not just a course where you simply sit down and listen to people talk about AI. You are going to build real things. You will create prompts, you will develop lesson materials, you will generate assessments, you will also create presentations and also educational videos. And at the end of this program, you must have built your own AI teaching portfolio.
Whether you are a teacher,
A lecturer, trainer, or content creator, a school owner, administrator, or education professional.
you don't need to be a programmer.
You don't need to be an AI expert. You simply need to be ready to learn. The program is designed for educators across schools, universities, administration, coaching, and curriculum development. And you don't need to have a prior knowledge of AI to join this program. The future of education will not be about AI replacing teachers. It will be about educators who know how to combine human creativity, professional teaching expertise, and the power of artificial intelligence. Join us for the professional certificate in AI for education. Don't just watch AI transform education. Learn how to lead that transformation. We look forward to seeing you in class.
All right. I know that a whole lot of us that watch the video, can't wait to get their hands on the learning objectives that the AI certification program for educators promises to give us. So it's going to be an interesting program for all the educators and the teachers, right? So if you are yet to register and book your own spot for the upcoming program for all the teachers and educators around the globe, then you should do that as soon as possible. And then there is another interesting video that I would want to share with us now. And
Good morning, students.
Good morning, Ma.
Today, we are going to learn about the water cycle. Have you ever wondered where rainwater goes after the rain stops? Some rainwater flows along the road. Some enters gutters, streams, and rivers. And some soaks into the ground. But does the journey of the water end there? Think about something you may have seen before. After heavy rain, puddles appear on the road. When the sun comes out, those puddles slowly become smaller. Eventually, they may disappear. Where did the water go? Did they simply vanish? The water changed into something we cannot easily see and moved into the air. The water cycle is the continuous movement of water from Earth's surface to the atmosphere and back again. Water can move from oceans, rivers, lakes, soil, and plants into the air. It can form clouds and later return to Earth as rain or other forms of precipitation. There is something important to remember. The water cycle has no fixed beginning or ending. It is called a cycle because water keeps moving around Earth again and again. To understand the water cycle, let us follow the journey of one drop of water. Our water drop is sitting inside a lake. But look, the sun is shining. What do you think will happen to our water drop? The sun provides heat energy. When sunlight heats water, some liquid water begins to change. Water in lakes, rivers, oceans, puddles, and wet soil can change into water vapor. This process is called evaporation. Water vapor is water in its gas form. Most of the time, we cannot see it. The water vapor rises into the atmosphere. Remember that puddle? It did not disappear. Some water became vapor, and moved into the air. Water can also enter the atmosphere from plants. Plants absorb water from the soil through their roots. Some of this water later leaves the plant through its leaves and enters the air. Together, these processes help move water from Earth's surface into the atmosphere. Our water vapor continues to rise. But something changes higher in the atmosphere. The air becomes cooler. As water vapor cools, it changes back into tiny liquid water drops. This process is called condensation. Millions of trillions of tiny droplets can gather together in the atmosphere. And what do they form? Clouds! Water vapor cooling into tiny water droplets is called condensation. Inside a cloud, tiny water droplets collide and join together. They gradually become bigger and heavier. Eventually, the droplets become too heavy to remain in the cloud. Then they begin to fall. Water falling from clouds back to Earth is called precipitation. Precipitation may fall as rain, snow, sleet, or hail, depending on the conditions. In many warm regions, the form of precipitation we see most often is rain. Our water has returned to Earth. But what happens next? Rainwater can take several different paths. Let us look at 3 of them. Some rainwater flows over the surface of the land. This is called runoff. Runoff can travel along roads, hills, gutters, and fields into streams, rivers, lakes, or oceans. Some rainwater does something different. It enters the soil. This is called infiltration. Some of this water can move deeper underground. Plants can absorb it through their roots. Underground water can also help supply wells and other water sources. Water can also gather in different places on Earth's surface. This is called collection. But water does not remain there forever. When the sun heats it again, evaporation begins. And our water drop starts another journey through the water cycle. Now let us put everything together. The sun heats water on Earth's surface. Water changes into water vapor and rises through evaporation. Higher in the atmosphere, vapor cools into tiny droplets through condensation, and clouds form. When droplets become heavy enough, water returns to Earth through precipitation. Some moves over land as runoff. Some enters the soil through infiltration, while some gathers through collection. Then the cycle continues. We can create a simple model of the water cycle using a bowl, warm water, plastic wrap, and ice. The warm water represents water heated by the sun. The water evaporates and rises. As the vapor cools, it changes into tiny droplets. This represents condensation. When the droplets become heavy, they fall like rain. The water cycle is very important for life on Earth. Rain provides water for crops, grass, and trees. It helps fill rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds. Some rainwater also enters the ground. This underground water can help supply wells. People and animals also depend on this water. Without the movement of water through the water cycle, life on Earth would be very different. The water cycle keeps water moving. But that does not mean our water will always remain clean. Refuse, chemicals, or dirty water in rivers, gutters, and streams can make water polluted. Polluted water can be dangerous to people, plants, and animals. We should keep our surroundings clean. This brings us to the end of today's lesson on the water cycle. But before we go, I have 3 questions for you. Question 1, what is the water cycle? Question 2, name the 4 major stages of the water cycle. Question 3, what happens during condensation? Write your answers clearly and submit them on your LinkSkool portal. I'll see you in the next lesson.
We are going to go into the practical section of this webinar. And first of all, from the slide, the presentation slide, what we need at this point is the invitation, the link that we are going to. All right. So we are going to go to the practicals, and then I'm be sharing the link to our learning management system, LinkSkool, on the chat box now, and also on the WhatsApp, so that everybody will participate in this section. So I've dropped it now. If you have gotten the link, just let me know on the chat box so that we take it step by step, right? If you have the link, just click on it and then reply on the chat box. Let me know where we are. All of us will take this step one after the other. All right. Thank you, Isabo. Sorry if I didn't pronounce the name very well. So just click on the link. It is app.linkschool.net. So at this point, we're going to go into the practical section. All right. Okay, so if you have the link, I'll also be sharing my slide, my screen on step-by-step um, process of handling link school. So yeah, here we go. So on the link I sent to you, it's app.linkschool.net. Just tap on it on your device, whether you are using laptop or phone, in as much as it's better uh, um, seeing like on a laptop than on a mobile phone. But you can also follow the practical section with your phone, right? So if you have clicked on the link, can I also see your reaction and what you have there, right? I'm sharing. So okay, so once you click on the link, this is where it's going to land you to. Okay, some of you people are requesting for the link on WhatsApp. All right, so it's also on the WhatsApp group. The link is also on the WhatsApp group. All right, so this is the first page you find yourself anytime you want to access LinkSkool, right? Now, the first thing you see, this is the home tab that shows different opportunities that you can explore at your own convenience, right? This is the rich content that we have on our management platform. We also have the CBT. So the CBT part is meant for our students preparing for different examination ranging from JAMB, WAEC, JSSCE, Special Living Certificates, and others, right? So it has a CBT part of it where the students can use to prepare for examination, right? And one of the important, interesting parts of this part CBT is that it can be accessed offline without the need for um, very strong internet accessibility. So it's something you can access with low internet or no, right? Also have a program where we have this space for anyone who would want to participate in programs, right? You want a self-paced course, right? Just like Coursera and Udemy. So here we have this program coming up, which is teacher certification program that will be starting late this month on the 31st. So if you are yet to register, you can enroll for the program here from the program part of the LinkSkool. Now, as a teacher, this part is where we are going to be exploring. We are going to be exploring two flows. One as a teacher, then the second flow as a student. So from the beginning part of this, we um, we said that we're going to also be experiencing the management, the learning as students, right? So we're not just going to create, we're going to also experience as students. So you feel what the students face. Now, first of all, before if you this is your first time of coming to LinkSkool platform, um, you first need to sign in, right? So here I've already signed in, but I'm going to log out so that we can be on the same page. So once you click on it, on the top right here, again, the training slide for this, like if at the end of it, it's already, we have a training slide that we're going to share to everybody who participated in this webinar. So you can practice this at home, and we also make it free for you to explore and then give us feedback when you practice and explore the teach and the learn flow as a teacher, right? So when you come to the LinkSkool home, this area on the top right side of the app or the platform, you're going to see sign in. Now it's a mandatory process step of every teacher, right, to sign in so that your information will just be personalized to you, right? So here we are going to sign in, and we have two options. We can sign in as using a Google account, or you do a sign up with where you fill your information, your first name, the last name, and all the required fields, right? Now, but for the purpose of this class and to be faster, we are going to be continuing with um, a Google account, right? So here I'll click on the continue with Google account, and it will take me to give the authorize that I am the one signing into LinkSkool with my Google account, and I'll follow it, then continue and complete the signing in step. I want to know if there is anybody who has gotten to this. So if you are at this point, you can just drop a chat on the chat box that you are there, so we can take everybody along. So I'll go to the chat box now to see if there is any um stuff there. So okay, you are there. Thank you, Ara. How who else is finding it hard to complete the signing in? Okay, all right. Um, so I will wait just for a second, then I'll move on to the next stage of building your own classroom. There. Um, I will still drop the link again for those of you saying you can't find the link. I presume that is what you are asking for. All right, but then I think not for not to waste much of our time, I think I will just move on to the next step. Remember, the training slide is available, and we'll share it to everybody. So if you're not able to follow this pace, just you can watch or record, but just know that at the end of this program we're going to share every slide that will help you create and manage your own classroom efficiently. So now I'm going to the next program after creating my signing into the portal, right, or the platform. So I've already have an existing account, which is a LinkSkool Academy, but I would also take us through the processes of creating our own institution, right? Our own institution is just like a school, right, where you manage your activities of your students in different classes and different levels. You also manage the courses that is peculiar for each classroom, each classes and levels, right? So now this is the existing platform I've created, but then I will just take us through the process of creating a new one. So we're going to create an institution here. So I'll click on create an institution. So once I click on create an institution, this is where I fill the information for about my institution. Some of them are mandatory, some are optional, but we're going to fill all the required information. Now, for instance, the name of your school. What brand, what school do you represent? Or are you a private tutor, a private teacher, or a home lesson teacher, whatever teaching sector or field you are. You're a trainer or in different skills. You can also create your institution here. So you can name it your personal, you can name it the school or your brand, the brand you are representing. So at this point, I am just going to recreate uh, a name, and I'll call it still links, or I've links already. So let me create an institution of digital dreams, which is a training, an ICT training institution right here in Enugu. So I'll create it ICT Academy, right? And yeah, this is the email address I am going to use. So you type in your email address and then the phone number that we're going to use to um, reach you in case there is any issue you experience, right? So this is the phone number I am going to be using. Now, these are the most important parts of this institution creation, right? The institution name, the account, email account, and the phone number. Other ones can be done. We also have a referral code here in case someone referred you to use this. Then you can also enter the person's referral code for the commission. Now you know that LinkSkool is also for everybody who would want to make money on the side base. So you can recommend your colleague or anybody who is interested or who you know that have a training platform to use this for his or her training. So here we have a referral code and the website. If you have one, you put it there. Then the address of your institution can also be here. But then with these three, we are good to go. So here I'm going to click on create an institution. So I want to know um, institution, okay, it's already existing. Just like I said earlier, that the email address and this institution is already existing, so I can't create another. But I want to know how many of us have been able to create institution. So I will return to the chat to see if um, anyone is having issues. So if you have created an institution, please can I see a reaction on the chat so we don't leave anybody behind. Oh, Oh, as a faith, I think you joined us late, but then just watch on what we are doing, right? Because of time, might not have these two. You are lost. Okay, are you lost based on? I'm talking to as a faith. Are you lost based on the creation, like you've not or you don't have the link for this? Just if you can hear me, just type on the chat box so I'll know where your problem is. All right, Pamela Tochi, thank you for following. All right, I can see all of you that have created, so I will move on. All right, so the next thing we are going to do is that we have our own institution. So, um, okay, so once you create your institution and your schools, just like we call it in the real world, you now have access to this, right? The option. Let me okay. So the next thing we'll do is that you are going to oh let me just hold on a bit. Just hold on. Um uh, just a little bit. All right, sorry, I really want to all of us to take to follow the step by step this, and I can't create a new one. I've exhausted all my email address, so just may hold on. Let me use this email address to recreate this. All right. All right. Think we are back. So you said I'm following, but want to create after. I can't after the class. Okay. All right. Then, as a faith, you said I'm lost on how to create my own institution. Okay. So if you are lost in creating in your institution, that is what I am showing here. But so if you are in this point, I want to recreate an institution so that all of us will be on the same page. Dreams ICT Academy, right? So this is the phone number, and here we go. So I'm going to create this institution at this point. All right. Now, this is once you create an institution, we have the plan for you. Now, this is where you choose the different sizes of or the different kind of plans that you want to use in your learning or your teaching sector. Here we have the one that takes a tutor for only 5 learners can be onboarded here. Then here we have 15 learners for 4,500, and then we have this, right? Now we have made this one free, so we're going to use this area, the start a free trial part of it, to for this training. So click on start 7-day free trial for you to complete your institution creation. So here I'm going to click on start free 7 days trial, and everything will be um, open, right? So this point you have access to every feature of LinkSkool, right? And it lasts for 7 days. So you can explore different parts of this at your own convenience after the class. Remember, I said that the training material will be available for everybody. So I want to see who is still following at this point. Lost. Who is following? Please, if you are still with me at this point, can I see your reaction on the chat box? You have created your own institution and you have your institution there. Yes, okay. All right. So let's move on. So now our institution is created and ready. Now, the next thing we'll see after you choose your trial package is where you set a pin. So we're going to be setting a pin for this institution, right? You use your institutional pin to secure your platform. So I'm going to just create an institution pin for myself. And remember, don't use a repeated digit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because it can be hacked. So what we're going to do is mix different numbers, right? Mix different numbers, and it has to be digits only. So I am going to run my own institutional uh, password and pin. All right, so do so if you have done that, you can set a device to remember it for you for 30 days. And here we go. So before we do this, I want to check if anyone is lost. Okay. All right. So click on sorry, let me check. Oh, energy. Now, if you are lost at this point, I advise you to just watch what we are doing. Right at the end of this program webinar, we are going to share the training material for everyone to try it on their own. Now, if you have any issue, you can always reach out to us that you are trying to do this on your own classroom and you are having the challenge, and we will definitely attend to you, right? Just watch and follow. You can record and also just watch and write down steps. So at this point, we are setting this pin, and here we go. Our pin set, right? So we are in, and this is what your classroom looks like. Your classroom has an overview where it breaks down everything about your classroom in one phase. Then we also have the courses where we set different courses that we train or we teach our students, and then the students part of it where we are going to be importing and onboarding students at the end of this program. We also have the teachers where you invite the staff to collaborate with, right? And also have the academic structure where we create the classes and the levels for that. So first of all, we are going to add a level, right? We're going to add our level where we going to give different sections like JSS1, primary one, and also if you have JSS1A, that is one we talk about the sub level and different kind of levels. So we're going to add the first level. We're just going to work for one class. So here I'll bring it down to, let's just take a primary one um, class, right, or level. Then we can also put a code for it. That is, if you are interested in doing this, maybe P1, right? That shows the primary one. Now, this class, this level, is it active? Yes, it is active. So it means that it can be courses and students can be added to them. Then we also have the, does it accept students? Yes, if you're accepting students in primary one, you do accept students. If you don't click on accept. Then accept courses, yes, it's also, you can also create course for primary one students. And here we go, we save this level, and at this point we have created one level for our classroom, just like creating a class JSS1 in our schools. So I'll still go back to check if anybody is following, or right. If you are at this point, please can you just indicate if there is any issue in your own part? Also indicate, especially if you have been following me to this point, so that we'll move on together, right? Do I? All right. Okay. All right. Thank you for following and you with me. All right. So we move to the next step. Now, the next step is where we're going to create courses for the class that we just created. All right, so this, we are done with this academic structure for now. So we're going back to the courses. This part is where it gets still more interesting our learning management system. So what are we going to do here? We're going to create a course, right? Or yes, we'll create a course. Let's create a course before we go to the students. So we'll go to this part, the top right of your classroom. You are going to see create course. So we're going to be creating a course on basic science or something of that nature. So we click on create course, right? And here we have two options: creating for schools and creating for general. And when you create for school, you are creating for your school. For instance, the normal course that you take in school, we have basic technology, basic science, and all those courses. And for general course, it's when you have a brand, a professional brand, training brand, where you create different courses for your students, right? For instance, if you are an ICT training person or something of that nature, you can create a course on graphics design or data analysis. But here we're going limiting it to school, right? So we create a course here and also create our lesson plans and lesson notes. All right, so here I'm going to click on the school course and I'll click on continue. So continue to create this course. All right, now we have different options that are required of us to create courses. So the first option here is the course cover. Maybe you have a thumbnail or just a graphic, a flyer that describes what the course is about, right? It's an optional part of it. It's not something you have to must do on the part. So I'm not going to add a course banner there. I'll go down to the course title. Now, the course title, I said we are doing primary one, um, primary one basic science. So create your own course, any course of your choice. But here I'm creating a basic science primary one. Okay, then the short description here, you also describe what basic science, maybe describe the course. Here at point you can say a course um RSC, a course that trains of students, right, about just generally earth and, let me just say earth and matter, anyhow. All right, so I believe we have created our own course there. So that's just a short description. It is not a must. Now, the placement, this placement shows which class or which level is this meant for. The course, remember, we created just one level for ourselves, which is primary one. So here we are going to select the placement and it's a primary one. Now, the subject of the course is under basic science. So I will select basic science here to put it as a subject. Then estimated duration of course, you can put just 8 weeks or so. And is it going to be a paid course or a free course? Now we're going to make it free, not a paid one. So we make it a free course. And here we go. We are done. I want to check again on the chat who is with me. Please, if you are with me, just show up. Let's move on. Who is with me? All right. Or are we all lost? Pamela Tochi, Ara, and Ejiofor. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. So let's move on. Okay. So the next thing we do is that we are creating our course and then, bam, we are done. Right? So we are done with course creation. The next thing I want us to also do is to create topic under this course, right? And we are going to be creating topics. Now, in topics, what topics entails is it entails the lesson plan and then the lesson note, which shows your your teaching material, right? So we're going to create a plan and the teaching material here. So on this bottom right of the platform, you will see create. Now remember, this create is happening under primary one basic science, right? So what are we creating under this course? We are creating a topic, right? So I'm going to pick a topic just like we watched on the video, a water cycle topic, right? So we're going to be training the kids on the water cycle. So I'll click on create. Then I'll also select the topic I want to create here. The title, once you click on the topic, you see a title and you fill in your title. So I'm going to be creating a topic on water cycle. Bam. And once I'm done, press just hold on. Let me edit it back. So once you create a course on water cycle, you move to the next options here, which is the description of the water cycle or the topic you have created, right? So maybe the description of this topic is going to show them how the shows, let's say, shows the movement of water, right? Movement of water from one area. Let's just put one area here to another. So when you are creating your own course, you your topic, you have your description. If you want to, it's an option, it's optional. Then the objective, maybe at the end of this class or topic, the student should be able to describe water cycle. Yeah. Then the weeks, the duration, can put it for 1 week, and we are cool. All right. So at this point, we have filled all every necessary information requirement for our topic to be added under the course. So here I am going to either save it as draft first. I'm saving it as draft. Then later we can now do the publish. Now saving as draft is just like you don't have the content ready, but you just want to create it at this point. So let's save this in as draft. And once you save as draft, it comes here, and you can see the overview of this course we've just created, the topic we've just created. The title is water cycle. The duration is 1 week. We've not said when this is going to start and it's going to end. Then the status here is draft. It has not been published, right? So the next thing we're going to do is to publish this course. So we're going to be publishing the course. All right. So sorry, we're going to be adding content to the topic that we have created. So on this bottom right, you're going to see these three dots. So you click on the three dots and it shows you different options. But then let me look at where we are, and then before I move to the next stage. Oh, all right. I'm a little bit. Oh, yeah, okay. You said that yes, there is going to be a handout that will be shared to all of you at the end of this webinar, where you can read the handout and then create this course, create all these things on your own. And you are also open for, in case you have any challenges along the line, you can shot on any of the admin on the community WhatsApp group to help you out in your challenges. But if you are at the point where I am, please can you show um, just indicate on the chat box. Let's move on because of time. Okay, select placement is open. Yes, select placement is where you select the class that the course you are creating is meant for, right? So if your course is meant for primary one, primary two, then you can. All right, thank you, Tochi, for staying with me till this moment. If who else is with me, so we can move on. All right, move on. All right, thank you all for being part of this. So let's move on. Um, so on this part of this course, I've created a topic. So we're going to now fill it with our content, and this is where it also gets more interesting. So we click on these three dots here, and then we can see manage content. Manage content is a place where you create one, your lesson plan. You create also your lesson notes, right? So your lesson notes involves your teaching material. Lesson plan is just like, I know we all are educators and teachers here, so no need explaining what these two concepts are, but we're going to be creating a plan that will guide us on our teaching. So first, let's create a plan. Now, in creating a plan, we have two options. You can start with a blank plan, or start generate with AI. But as our topic and title is a classroom management with LinkSkool and AI. I think we're going to be doing it with AI. Blank creation is not difficult. Just click on the blank, you click on open editor, then it will show you different areas or different sheet where you are going to be doing your objectives and different activities that will be happening in your class. But let's, for the time factor, let's just do it with AI. So we are creating our lesson plan with AI, and we need just additional instruction if there is any additional instruction you would want to do. But here I'm not going to add any additional instruction, so we're just going directly to creating our lesson plan with LinkSkool AI, and let's see what it gives us. If you're at this point with me, just click on generate lesson plan, and then you give it some time, 2 minutes, 1 minute, it should be done. Right, so as it is generating, I will still go back to my chat to see if anyone is lost. Okay, I believe we are all following at this point, so let's go on with what we are doing. All right, so if yours is done generating, um boom, mine is done, and I have my lesson plan. Right now, these lesson plans are something you should also maybe look at and do your own modification. Right, you modify it before you publish or you save it. Right, so if you want to, you can come here. This is learning objectives. By the end of this, learner should be able to, right, say what water is for at home, and then all this is used for all these plans. So these are different keywords, so you can go through them, and if there is any change you would want to make here, you can always make your changes. Right, you can add other content sections and things if there is a need for it, but if there is none, you can now move on and save your lesson plan, or you can even share it as a PDF or other document type that you can that can be used later. So you can go there, just each of these cards are editable, so you can type them inside them, remove the ones you don't want to remove after you are done. So we're just quickly going to save this. Right now, we can preview it, like in case you want to preview, you can preview it and see how it's looking. It's in tabular form, and you can, this is the lesson plan, the topic is water cycle, and all these information about the plan. Right, so this is what we have. I told you you can modify it before you download. So here we can download this as PDF and then have it in your phone or your laptop. But then we are going to be saving it here in our classroom. So bam, and here it's saved. So the next thing I'm going to do after creation of lesson plan is to create the lesson note, which is the teaching material. Right, so beside the lesson plan, right here, this is the lesson plan on the top left, and beside it you have a lesson note, so you can simply toggle between the two tabs. So right, so here we are done with our lesson plan here, and the next thing we'll do is to create a lesson note. So we're going to be creating our notes at this point. So what do we do? We're going to click on generate with the notes. So we click on this lesson notes, and then it's still asking us, do you want to start from, do it from the scratch, or make use of technology. So we are using technology AI here to make our lesson notes. And boom, I will click on generate with AI. I need instruction, additional instruction, which I told you earlier during the lesson plan that it is optional. So here I will just click on generate lesson notes, and here we go. It's generating with AI. So I okay. All right. Who has generated a lesson plan and is at the point of generating a lesson note? If you are at the point of generating lesson notes and lesson plan, please just indicate so that we. Oh, you jumped a lesson plan. You can still go back to the plan. Just click on the tab, the on this part of it. Let me show you. Oh, this is lesson plan. This is your lesson note. So now my lesson note is gradually building, and this is the power of AI in education now. So it's creating a teaching material for me. So when it's done creating the teaching material, I'll just publish it, right? I publish it and then give access to the students to participate and take the lessons from anywhere they are. So I'm waiting for someone who is at this point of creating a lesson plan. Okay. Wow, we are very smart. All right. So at this point we are done. Mine is done. Is still generating, but at the beginning you can see because this thing is made for primary students, and so it's showing different illustrations that effectively describes or creates the mental picture of what um, rain, where look at where does rain comes from. So it's creating a mental picture of the question. And down here we are having different um, contents and subsections for our lesson plan, right? For our lesson note, which is on water cycle. So I'll still give it some time to create. We're done with creating of the lesson notes, and we'll go to the next stage. Come on. Yeah. It's muted. Okay, so it's generating a very rich content for us here, and we can just give it some little time. It will complete the generation. So if you are at this point, you can also indicate that you are with following and you are with me. If there is any confusion, you can also raise the issues so that we can sort it out if it's somewhere something that we can sort at this point. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for. All right. Okay. Fine. So we move on, and then let's. I just want to check if my lesson plan is done. My lesson note is done generating. Okay. See then. Just give it some times, and so it's generating number 9/13. So we have like four to go, the four cards to go. All right, it's done number 10. So we have basically remaining one. Now, one of the interesting thing that LinkSkool AI does is its ability to generate the quiz from the lesson notes, right? So this last card is already generating a quiz that goes with the plan, because at the end of the plan, each plan, we have assignments or assessments, whatever model you want to use to test your students. So it has created a quiz for me, 5 questions, which I can uh, just click on and it shows. Now it's generated 5 questions, one on water cycle. Here is saying what is water cycle, what happened during evaporation, when water vapor cools in the sky, what does it form. So this the quiz is coming from the notes, right? So it's expected that at the end of this notes, right, the student should be able to answer those questions that came with the lesson notes. Now, but this is not where we end. We can still add more information, more content, more teaching material to the lesson notes that we have created here, right? So here I'm going to add more I'll add more content here, right? So when you take your cursor or just click on at the end of every card, you're going to see a plus button. Now this plus button is used to add, we use it to add more content or more teaching elements in our lesson notes. So here I'll click on this plus because it's done generating. So I'll click on this plus icon and I will see video, right? Now video content is one of the elements that currently we use in improving learning and teaching, right? So now we have also created a video on water cycle, which I'm going to be attaching to this lesson notes, which at the end of it, we're all going to be practicing this, experiencing it as the students. So here we have a video content, we have the resource where you can upload your PDF, Microsoft Word documents, other different resources, image, and so on. We also have the quiz, which the AI has automatically generated for us. The survey, when you want to get a feedback from the students or your people you are training. Or we also have a poll that you can share in your assessment to get feedback. Still, assignment is there. We have discussion there. Whole lot of elements that you can be attached to our lesson notes to improve learning, right? If this person prefer watching video, you watch video, or you read the content in PDF, or you take it as image, infographics, and all that. So here we're going to be attaching a video content to our lesson notes. So here I'll click on the video and maybe I will share the link of the video we just watched on this for on the chat box so that we all can pick it and put it in our right. Okay. So here I'm sharing the video link on the chat box. So pick it, copy it, and paste on your video. Once you click on the plus button and click on video, you see the video URL. So once I paste this video URL, which is the link of the video, the platform picks it, and this is where it's showing. I can title this and then just call it water cycle video or video content or video learning material, right? So that is that, and the caption can also put the water cycle there as the caption of the video, right? So I'll pick it here and just drop it. It's option, the caption is optional, and then that is that, right? So we can also add different other contents here. You can explore that on your own. So now I'm done with this lesson. So I'm going to be publishing it for my students to take, right? So here I'll click on publish, and the lesson notes and its content will be published for the students to take from their um, own end. All right. So we are done with the lesson notes and the lesson plan. The next thing we are going to be doing is next thing we're going to be doing here is creating of other content, right? For instance, we want to create an assessment. Remember, in this primary one basic science, we created a course, basic science, and then created the topic water cycle. So at this point, we are going to also create another learning or teaching material, which is assessment, right? So I'll create the assessment, clicking on create. The same create that we use to create the topic, we can click on it to create assessment. So here we click on assessment, and we can create different assessment. Assessment is just like quiz that you want the students to take, right? So here assessment is on basic science, and you can enter it, maybe midterm assessment, right? Midterm assessment or assignment, whatever we you want to call it. The duration of this assessment is 30 minutes. And then when is this assessment going to be available, right? So here we are going to put it to start today. So this start is asking us to provide when the assessment is going to be available for students to take. So I'll click on this calendar sign, and I'll select 22nd of August, 12:37. So I'll just click on this 12:37, 22nd, and it starts. Now, when is it going to end? Maybe I'll pick tomorrow, 23rd, or even 24th. The same time it should end. So this gives you a window, the assessment window, when can students access this and when it will not be available for assessment. Now, if you want it to be the attempts, how many times can a student take one assessment? By default is unlimited, means that they can take it over and over again, but you can put the maximum number of attempts. Maybe you want two, or just make it one, right? So the student can only take it one. So here I'll put it at one attempt, or let's put it two attempts for each them, but I'm not sure any teacher would want students to take two attempts, so let's just pick it at one. Now, the total mark, how much mark are you going to be allotting to this assessment? Here is over, total mark is 100. Maybe we want to make it at 40 or 30. So I'll put a 30 there. I don't want to show the score for the students when once they finish writing. So I say do not show scores, right? So they don't see the score, because you need to review it before you publish the score. Then here, this is the required information that you need to create this assessment. And next thing we do is the sources of the assessment. It can come from the one you have already typed in your system, then you can upload it, right? Using a particular template which you can download from here. It has a set template or the CSV, so you can open them in your system, input your questions, and once you open it, you are going to see the required information that you need to be able to upload your assessment automatically. Or you can generate with AI, which is why we are here. So we are going to generate our question with AI. So I'll click on generate, and it's going to give me 10 questions by default. You can increase it, but let's just work with 10 and we move on. So here I am going to just click on generate, and the AI does its work while we watch and modify when it's done. So let me check. Fine, it's done generating the questions, and I want to go to the chat to see who is following at this point. Do I still have you following at this point? If you are lost, you can just share and let me know. So we continue. Okay. All right. Pamela, you said you're not following. Um, is this something you can type on? Okay. I think we have people that following. Maybe we'll just move on with them. At the end of it, your training material will be available for you to practice it on your own, right? Okay, so we move on because of time. We are already running out of time uh, for this webinar. But there is the list, the different questions that the AI has generated for me. So I am just going to go ahead and then I will publish it, right? If I am okay with this, we can also add different kind of questions. For instance, this is multiple choice question, which here adding more questions, clicking on this plus button can give you option to add different kinds of questions, subjective questions or MCQ, which is a multiple choice. But let me just add one short answer question, which is the subjectives. So here I click on short answer, and the only thing I need here is to type what I want. So I'll just put let's put the most simplest question which they've been asking us. Also, what is a noun? So I'll put these, and then I'll also supply the answer that I'm expecting, right? The answer that I'm expecting the student to give me. I'll just put it a noun is a name of a person, right? I don't know if this definition has changed, but I know it has. A noun is a name of a person, right? Animal, place, or things. That is all I know here. So we are going to be saving these and we are publishing it for the students. So here I'll just click on the publish and save, or I'm not sure I did. Okay, fine. So you save everything you have done and then you can now publish it, right? So the quiz has been published and here we go. So now we have been able to create one lesson plan, lesson notes. We have created the assessments, which is the quizzes, right? Now I'm also going to be publishing my this learning material. So I'll come to this arrow. From this place I edited the content area, so I'll click on it and then I'll publish the material. So the status of my materials, the learning and the assessment, are all published. So at this point the students can access it. But remember that we don't have any students in our classroom because we did not create any. I will just take you through how you can create a student and also invite a student to take the the questions and the learning materials. So what I'm going to do now is we are done with the this creation of all the learning materials under courses. Now let's go to student part of it, which is the point where all of us are going to be experiencing what we just created. So I'll click on students and we can add our own students, right? Or you just invite it. But basically, let me just show you how to add the students, and we can see how we can also invite a student. So here I'll click on students, but then let me check if anybody has any question. All right. I think we are all good to go at this point. So I'm going to continue adding students. So here, student actions. So I'll click on student actions and I'll add a student, right? I can also import students. If you are already using you have a list of your students, you can import them from CSV or from portal if you are using LinkSkool portal in your school, right? But now let's just add the student manually. I'm going to click on this student action, add students, and select the placement. Which class placement is just like class or the level of the student. So we remember we created primary 1, So I add this student to primary one, then create a range number, right? So I'll just give this range number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I will I will type the name of the student. So I'll use John Doe as the last name, and the middle name I will put the same. Okay, fine. So this is what we have, and then the phone number. Maybe you just put the phone number of the parent that you can use to contact them. But all these things can be done by default when you import them directly from either the portal or you import from your Excel or CSV. So here I'm going to save these students, and everything is set. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing the link so that you as a student can now see from your own end what we have been doing all this while, and then experience it as a student, right? So I'm going to create a link for all of you here, and I will share it. How many that can join? uh okay, now this is the placement for primary one. So this means that only primary one students will be able to access what everything I have there. And then I have how many can join if you have, and this is where the plan comes into, right? If you have more than uh, 10 or 5 students, you have to upgrade it. So it expires, and the days the link will expire, you will select it. Is optional. Now what do you want? Do you want each student to approve each student anytime they click on the link? Possibly, in this case, no, I am not. So I'm going to add them straight away, right? And okay, fine. So let me just name this link basic water cycle. No, let me just call it basic science for primary one. So now we are set to generate our own link, and here I'll click on create a link, and it's going to, let me check. Placement is no longer available for student enrollment. Okay, I'm coming. Choose an expiry date in the future. Okay, I'm coming. Let me check something. Okay. Mm, basic physics science primary one. I don't want to. Okay. All right. Just give me a second. Let me look at what the issue is here. So I am done creating the links, and I am going to be sharing it here for everybody to access it, right? So I'll share it here also on the WhatsApp platform for us to use it and see what what we have just created. All right. So So here is the link on the chat box. I'll also be sending it on the WhatsApp community for us to use, and then for to invite. So this is an invitation link for all of us to try it on their own. So just click on this link on the chat box. It will take you directly to where you can access the lessons and the video contents that we just created. So check it and see if you can access it. You can also drop your feedback on the WhatsApp if you clicked on here, right? So that we don't, cause the class, this training has already gone beyond what we planned, and we are very sorry for taking all this time for the webinar. So I think we are done with the creation of the done with the creation of our classrooms, the courses, and every necessary thing that a teacher and a learner needs to take when they are training. Remember, I said that this material will be available for all of you to practice on your own. And with that, we are coming to the conclusion of the webinar. So if you have any questions, you can also just drop it on the WhatsApp platform, where we reach out to you and help you solve it. And also we'll be needing a feedback on this, what you assessed when you click on the link as a student, to see how it helped you, and maybe access the lesson notes and the lesson material to just have the feeling as that. Yeah, the lesson material will be dropped on the WhatsApp link. If you are not there, you can indicate now, and then I will send the WhatsApp link here on the chat box, so that you click and then join there. I will be dropping the lesson materials on the group for everybody to use and do the training on their own. All right, so we are rounding up, and if there is no question, we'll be closing for today, and then we continue the further explanation and necessary information on the platform. Remember about the AI professional certification that is program that is coming up on the 31st of this month. If you are yet to join, right? If you are yet to participate, to register for the program, do well to do that, because it promises to be an interesting webinar and program, and your certificate will also be awarded at the end of the program. So thank you everyone who has stayed to this moment. We really appreciate you, and we keep improving and learning and being better and smarter in our teaching career with technology and AI. Once again, I remain myself, Mr. Vincent, and thank you for being part of this training. We'll see you again.